Welcome to day 7. It's been 7 days of videos. Don't days and weeks seem really long in chronic illness? It's actually nice to have a record of something each day, because there's a certain time operates in a different way, doesn't it, when you're stuck at home all the time. And I'm not stuck home all the time, but when you're stuck at home a lot and when you're having not that much, novel, new experiences, your memories of a week go a bit weird. Anyway, what I want to talk about today is, do you ever have really weird, quite nuanced intuitions about your health and about what's going on in your body, and sometimes feel a bit crazy for having them, but they're also there? Like with me, I have this really horrible fungal infection in my chest. I mean, that's an assumption. I've never had that fully proven, but anytime I touch an antifungal, I get a flare-up of the symptoms and a flare-up of rash and a flare-up of die-off symptoms. So I'm pretty sure it's a fungal infection. So I have that, and just tonight, as I said yesterday, I have a real problem disciplining myself, I think with the fungal infection, and particularly when I'm in die-off mode, because when I'm killing it, my behavior is quite hard to control. I'm not really that in control of myself. I think that's because either the fungus itself or the die-off messes with your hormones. I think it adrenalizes you. I think it puts you in an adrenalized state where you want high stimulatory things like computer time. So I'm lying here, and I've had a day where I met up with someone earlier on, and it was alright. I felt a bit depressed at the end, but it was okay as well. And I've come home and I've been resting since. I've eaten, and I'm just lying here, and I have such an urge to go up on the computer, like a really strong compulsion. And when I go on the computer, I tend to be there for hours, and my work's very stimulating. I've built an incredible system that my work is, and I love tinkering with it, and it's very, very stimulating and very enjoyable. But I'm sitting there on a screen, more stressed than I should be. I'm not resting. It interrupts with my sleep. It makes me forget to take treatments. It's all round not good for me, but I just have such a compulsion right now to go and do it. And I'm lying here, ignoring it, just going, just lie here, it's okay. But my crazy nuanced insight is the fungal infection making me act these ways? It can't. I mean, I know that bugs affect your behavior in that they release chemicals to maybe increase your blood sugar, which then has the knock-on effect of making you more impulsive and more, high blood sugary. I know they can do that, but can it literally control your thoughts? That specifically, go up on the computer? So I'm theorizing that it doesn't actually do that. Isn't it weird that you can have these kind of insights, and it's hard to know whether to trust them? It's really hard to know whether to trust them, whether they're just weird imaginings or they're actually real quality intuitions. But I want to talk also a bit about how crazy it is when you're in the situation of trying to fix yourself, like when you are your own doctor, because I've been that for years. I've seen a few practitioners here and there, and I've got some help from all of them, but none of them have really been able to deal with this severity of fungal infection. And for someone like me, I've been doing it all myself, and just the madness. This is my bullet journal. Just tonight, I was writing out my current insights and current thoughts and current state, And there's loads in here. There's loads. And I've got about 8 of these books. And they make very depressing reading. But yes, isn't it crazy to be your own doctor? Like, you're trying to be your own doctor when your brain's not working. When the body is like this frustratingly untouchable black box. You know, the things that you go on inside you, you can feel, but you have no idea of the mechanisms actually. And the complexity of variables, you know, that goes on in the body. There's the ridiculous complexity, and if you have multiple diseases, just the ridiculous complexity. It's just too much for anybody to deal with on their own. And then trying to decide for yourself what's next, while your cognitive function isn't that great. I mean, I found it very helpful to keep lots of records, but sometimes I just can't keep that up either, because you have to have a brain working to keep records, and you have to have a decent enough mood to keep records. So isn't it just absolutely ridiculously crazy to try and be your own doctor? And isn't it a terrible travesty that each of us has to be? It's a terrible travesty because we know why, because orthodox medicine is, whether most orthodox doctors realise it or not, is controlled by an industry, or at least heavily lent on by it. So that route gets you drugs, surgery, blood tests, diagnostics, but it doesn't get you healing. And if you have something that they don't recognise, then you're screwed. As you guys with ME well know. It's been a big fight for you, obviously. So, isn't it just absolutely ridiculous being your own doctor? It's absolutely ridiculous. With the best brain in the world. I mean, you know, I'm not a doctor. I don't understand the biochemistry of the body. I've got tons of information at a level that goes like a couple of inches deep. But I'm not a biochemist. I'm not a doctor. Just the ridiculous trial and error process I've had to go through to get to where I am today, and I'm still not healthy. But the ridiculous trial and error process, and just the amount of times I've gone to an orthodox doctor and felt unbelievably patronised, or you just feel a sense of trauma because of the way they talk to you. You turn up there with, like, excuse me, I'm going to get angry now. You turn up there with like 15 years of experience of your illness. This happened to me a little while ago. I went to a gastrointestinal doctor. I turned up there, how many years into this illness? 13 years at least. And after 8 minutes, he was convinced I had silent reflux. Fuck you. It cut me off mid-flow, mid-angry rant. There's the computer, by the way. The horrible time-sucking computer. There's another one. Yes, so you turn up to orthodox doctors. I turned up to this gastrointestinal guy, and within 8 minutes he was convinced he knew what I had. Fuck you, man. After 14 years, I have something to say about this and some insight. It's just, those experiences are so horrible, aren't they? Anyway, I'm going to wind up. That's the message for today. Isn't it absolutely ridiculous to be having to navigate this yourself, decide for yourself? I often can't remember how I felt, just a few days before. So keeping records is great, but then that's a faltering process as well, because I can't do that sometimes. So it's just, I've tried all sorts of systems to keep good records and to keep discipline. I use Asana sometimes, which is an online task management app. I use my bullet journal sometimes. Yeah, and then sometimes you just can't keep it up. And it's just, how ridiculous a process it is. Good luck and big hugs and tons of understanding for you out there if you've had to do that for years, trying to fix yourself, finding yourself in front of practitioner after practitioner or doctor after doctor and trying to pick, the wheat out of what they say from the chaff, because they don't get your particular circumstance a lot of the time. what they do is they give you what they know, which is often a big part of the elephant, but it's still only a part of the elephant, and you have to somehow piece that together when you're not a doctor and when you feel like shit. It's ridiculous, isn't it? See you tomorrow.